Hello and welcome to lesson 2 of this 10-part series on beginner guitar songs. So in lesson 1 we looked at Stand By Me by Benny King, a fantastic simple 4-chord song, and also beginner strumming patterns and rhythms. So if you haven't seen that video yet, click on the card above and that will take you to that nice 10-minute short video. So in this week's lesson we're going to be looking at the Byrds Mr Tambourine Man. Fantastic, again 4 chords throughout the whole song and can use the same strumming pattern throughout. So let's take a look at the 4 chords to start with. So we've got D major, so fret wise 0, 2, 3, 2. Use your first finger on the 2nd fret G, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret B, middle finger on the 2nd fret E. We've also got an A-sus4 chord. Now this chord is not essential for this song, but it's an extra chord that we're going to put in the intro and the outro, which I'll explain in a minute. Really fantastic chord this, so it's A-sus4. Sus is short for suspended, so really nice sounding chords. So here, you keep your 3rd finger from where it was from the D chord, and then open A, 2nd fret with your 1st finger on the D, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G, then open E. So you strum that from the A string, and then the D chord, strum it from the D string. It doesn't matter too much, just in case you hit the A string. Cool, and then we've also got a normal G major chord, which you learn in Stand By Me. So it's 1st finger 2nd fret A, middle finger 3rd fret B, 3rd finger on the other E string, 1st string. So all 6 strings for that one. And then A major. So here you've got your fingers in a diagonal line. So that's 0, 2, 2, 2, 0. Okay, I'm using my 1st, 2nd and 3rd fingers there. 1st finger on the D, middle finger on the G, 3rd finger on the B. You can also, some people like to bar it as well. You can do that. Just be careful not to bar it too much, because you don't want this to bar this this note here. It will be a completely different chord. So that's A major. Okay, so that's the 4 chords. So what we're going to do in the intro and the outro is basically there's that cool little melody, something along those lines. You can hear really it's a really famous riff. It sounds great. So that's happening in the intro and the outro. Now, you know, if you're playing on this on your own, you just want to do some strumming, just working on, you know, building up your chords and your strumming, then I've just suggested playing 1 chord per bar over that awesome kind of intro and outro riff. So what you can do is just play a D chord, which is a semi-brief, which is, as we learned in the last lesson, lasts for 4 beats, okay? So it's going to be the whole of the bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to go to A-sus4 afterwards, 2, 3, 4. It just works really nicely over that melody, so you don't have to do this bit. I think it sounds great. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just do that again. So this is the second time round is when the bass, you can hear the bass come in on the record. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And also I thoroughly recommend something like karaoke version for getting the backing track, so you can, you know, play along with the lead part and the bass and the drums and the singing, and just take the, you know, some of the main guitars out, and just a really nice way of practicing it. Okay, so that's the intro. So you're just going to do D, 1, 2, 3, 4, A-sus4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in the outro section, you're basically just going to do that twice. So that kind of melody just happens again. Okay, so you're basically going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So just do all that again. With that melody, which I think is actually a 2-bar riff, 3, 4, and then just finish on a D. Cool, so that's the intro and the outro. So now the other, so we've got, this is sort of song that's not really got choruses in it. The whole song is almost like a chorus. So you've basically got 6 verses, and the challenge here is just actually to remember the order, okay? So what I'm also going to do is put the song structure up on the screen. This will also be in the description as well, so it will help you remember all the parts. And my advice, you know, I teach this to my pupils all the time, is to kind of remember the 1st verse in the intro, play them together, memorize that off by heart, then add the 2nd verse, yeah, because you don't want to be looking at a sheet all the time, because you want to be working on your chord changes. So the 1st verse, okay, what you're going to do is the order of the chords go G, A, D, G, then D, G, and 2 bars of A. And one one thing to point out here is the first 6 bars of every verse are the same, which are G, A, D, G, D, G. So the best thing to do is remember that sort of pattern first, and then you can again focus on changing between your chords, and you're only using G, A and D throughout all these verses, okay? And what we're going to do, strumming pattern wise, is the one we learned for Stand By Me, which is down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. So again, if you haven't watched that video, go and check that out, because I go through how to get up to that stage of playing that strumming pattern. So what you'll do, G major for 1 bar, down, down, up, miss, up, down, up, down, down, up, miss, up, down, up, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 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 2 and 3 and 4 and. So just to explain that strumming pattern again, what's happening is you've got 1 downstroke, which is a crotchet or quarter note, and 6 quavers or 8th notes, okay, which are half a beat each, and then one of them is tied. So that's where I get people, and my pupils find it sometimes helpful to count that miss, or down, down, up, miss, up, down, up, and also practice counting it out loud as well, which is a really good thing to learn. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, cool. So that was the first verse. So the second verse, what you've got, the first 7 bars are the same as the first verse, but what you're going to do is then play, so it's G, A, D, G, D, G, A, and then just 2 bars of D at the end. So let's go through the second verse. G, then A, then really nice chord progression, and really gets you practicing the D, G, and A's, which are kind of classic chords. So then come back to bar 7, and then 2 bars of D. Cool, so now we're going to go through the third verse, okay? So the third verse, I like to remember this like G and A, and then 5 rounds of D and G, okay? And then 2 bars of A at the end. Let's just go through the third verse. So you got this G, and A, and then D to G 5 times. This is number 1. It's getting a lot about, this kind of learning these beginner songs is actually remembering the order. So this is number 3. Number 4, and then number 5, okay, and 2 bars of A. Now, fourth verse starts off very similar to the third verse, but you've got G, A, and then 3 rounds of D and G. Then you've got an extra bar of G and 2 bars of A. Again, if you're struggling with the strumming pattern to start with, you could always just find a backing track, karaoke version or something like that online, and just do 1 strum per bar and build up like we did in that last video. Okay, so the fourth verse, let's go through the fourth verse. So G, then A, then D to G 3 times, this is 1, this is number 2, number 3. Extra bar of G, then 2 bars of A. Again, it's the sort of song you want to sort of sing along to, so having that vocal melody is really cool. So yeah, definitely find some backing tracks to play along with it, or even play along with the original recording. Cool, so then the fifth verse is exactly the same as the first verse. So again, it's always about looking for these patterns, yeah? Okay, and then the sixth verse is exactly the same as the fifth and the first, but you're just taking off the last A. So let's just go through the sixth verse. Okay, G, A, D, G, same as before, then D and G, and then 1 bar of A, and then you're into the outro. Cool. So it's a nice simple song and a great one for you to kind of practice. Just, those verses only have 3 chords. And then you've got that cool little intro and outro kind of chord progression if you wanted to. Cool, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you haven't already. There'll be lots more videos coming out soon. Also, there's a 10-part series on minor pentatonic, how to create awesome riffs and solos, so feel free to check that playlist out as well. The card will be up above. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it to anyone you know who might be starting out on guitar or just need some help with strumming patterns or wants to learn some really simple 4-chord songs. Also soon there'll be guitar profiles and guitar tab PDFs for all the tabs that you see on the screen. They'll be available to download from all the lessons that I've been putting out on JS Music School recently. Available to purchase online at jsmusicschool.co.uk. So you should find those useful. Guitar Pro is a brilliant program. It allows you to sort of slow it down and speed it up songs. So I'll definitely research Guitar Pro. It's fantastic. And also just the standard PDFs and any backing tracks and things like that. So yeah, keep an eye on jsmusicschool.co.uk so when that website is redone. Thanks very much again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, bye.